video is basically me saying how I got hired at MAC Cosmetics. Which honestly, I worked at the Ulta MAC, which was kind of like MAC, sort of, kind of, but it actually was MAC, but it was still like, it was like one of the like little like, it was, me. I worked in Belks before. I'll do a video on Estee Lauder later, but this is about MAC right now. So how I got hired at MAC is simply I looked on. I was tired of doing, like, I worked at a grocery store, and so I was basically tired of. I was tired of, like, working at a grocery store. I wanted to do beauty. Like, beauty is what I want to do. Hey, hello, look at me. But I was tired of doing more of, like, grocery store stuff. So I looked and I saw, like, I typed in literally in Indeed, like, beauty jobs. And at the time, like, I love working, like, Ulta. I worked for them before as a beauty advisor. It was cool. So I was like, okay, cool. And I saw that they had a MAC Ulta coming in. And I love MAC. Like, MAC is literally, like, one of my favorite brands. If y'all watch my videos, you see that I do use a lot of MAC products. Because I do. Okay. But anyways, and actually my liner is chestnut and MAC, because that's my staple. That's my favorite. But anyways, so what I did was I essentially applied for the position. It didn't take long, because if you ever applied for Ulta, you know how it is. And so I applied for the position. I was just, like, doing it out of spare luck. And then the lady called me literally, like, 2 days later. Well, my former manager called me 2 days later and was like, hey, I see that, I'm interested in getting you in for an interview. And so she told me about the interview process, which the interview process was, I interview with her, who is the manager. And then if the interview progresses, you move on to, like, doing the interview with the MAC, the MAC representative, who is, like, the counter manager. Well, not the counter manager, that's just the account manager, the person who is in charge of, like, making sure that everything goes well, making sure you hit your sales goals, making sure that the counter is represented, y'all get what I'm saying, making sure that the counter is represented. And so I did the interview, aced it, cool, boom, hello, what's up, got it. And then what else I did was, and then it was, like, the interview process for the consultant. And the interview process for the consultant, literally, she interviewed us, and then we were able to, like, put on makeup. This is where, it's typically like a MAC person, essentially. Another MAC interview is just in Ulta. So I did the interview for the manager, got it, and then it was literally 2 days before my birthday, or 2 days after, I believe, that I did the interview, where I brought my model in. It was my manager at my old store. I was like, look, girl, you got really good skin. Come on, let's do it. And I brought my brushes, and it was kind of like a time thing. You had to go on a time, and you had a section for face, eyes, brows, and I think it was like face in one. Face, you had 10 minutes. Face, you had 5 minutes. Eyes, you had like 5 minutes. And I think it was like 20 minutes. So they wanted to see what your makeup ability was. Because if you work for MAC, obviously you need some type of makeup ability. You need to learn how to beat a face. Boo, boo. You need to meet MAC standards. And it was really nerve-wracking, honestly. Like, the account manager, she was very cool. But me and my nerves, girl, my nerves were on 10. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I really like interviewing for MAC, because honestly, MAC is one of my favorite brands. I love them. It's MAC also, but still it's MAC. Like, hello, yes, I love them. But when I interviewed for them, so when I interviewed for them, I just, came in and took my best. We did the whole, face interview, took my model. We literally had to run around the store too. It was kind of like supermarket sweep. We had to run around the store and get our favorite product, and get, like, products that we thought that would fit her face. Me, knowing that I used a lot of, like, they didn't have MAC in the store at the time. They didn't have Clinique. It was all being built. Like, everything was being built for this certain day, for us to go to, like, this beautiful start and things like that. It was all being started for that day. But I use a lot of Tarte on her face. I used a lot of, what is one that they had, APH, because I was like, yo, I honestly, my manager, me and her, we really, I never done her makeup before, so I was like, this is a gamble I'm willing to take. Let's go now. So what I did was I brought her in there. She's like, she's like a brownish, fair skinned woman, kind of like lighter than me, but like not pale. And so I was like, yo, let's rock this out, get it done, get it together. And so I ended up using Tarte on her. I remember because I was running around the store. I was like, yo, 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 like, this is good. And I was running around the store and I was like, okay, 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 relax, breathe. And so, the counter manager, the account executive, she was really cool, calm, and collected because like she's done this before several different times. When people want to interview for Mac, she literally said this is the process to get into Mac for if you are a regular artist. And so that's what kind of made it more intense. I went first though. I was the first person to go, and it was like time slots. And I believe 8 people were auditioning that day, and I was like, yo, I'm first. Ooh, Lord have mercy. This is gonna get scary. So, when I went first, I was nervous as hell. Yeah, I was like, wow, I'm the first person. She was like, yeah, yeah, just do your thing. And me, the biggest thing that when you go into these interviews, that when you want to get hired at Mac, is to do confidence. Because even though I was nervous, I still had a still face. Like, I know I'm the shit, and I know my makeup gonna be the shit, and I know you're gonna be impressed. And I think that was the best thing because she did, like, after the, well, wait, let me go back there because but when you have confidence, I feel like the first thing that you need when you're interviewing for Mac is confidence, knowing that your makeup style is gonna be the shit. They're gonna like the shit regardless. You got it together, okay, honey. Because I was definitely like, my signature is doing really good eyebrows and really eye makeup. So that's what I wanted. And I think it was like, she wanted natural glam. Like, she literally said, my motto, she said, how do you like your makeup? And she was like, anything she likes. And she was like, okay, well, let's choose natural glam. And this is on a fair skin woman. So, hey, you can do makeup on anybody. Wait, I'm jumping ahead. But basically, you need confidence. Yes, you need a lot of confidence to work, to audition, to get the interview for Mac. Because I knew, like, I was like, yo, I've done this was in 2018, 2019. And so in 2018, 2019, I was still like about 3, I've been doing makeup for about like 7 years now. Professionally, I've been doing makeup for like 7 years now. So this is in 2018, 2019. So I was like, yo, I'm really scared. Like, oh my god. But I still got it together because I was like, yo, I'm the shit. I don't care. Like, my makeup style is really dope. I'm a really dope person, and I got this together, and I got this in the bag. But that's besides the point. But you do need confidence to work for Mac. You do need product. Like me, I didn't know any. Like, I use the products, but I don't know the products. So it's really good to know what you're working with. I know that I love Pro Longwear. I love the concealers. So going in there, I was like, yo, I know. And then I obviously watched a bunch of videos on YouTube. I was like, look, we're going to get it together. You need confidence. You need product knowledge. You need to understand that, it's okay if you mess up, because as long as you have a personality and you're able to kind of like, be happy with your guest or be happy with your client while you're working with them, know their skin. Because honestly, I didn't know my skin. She was my manager at a grocery store. And I was literally telling her, look, I'm auditioning for Mac. I need your help. Even though it seemed like I was like, oh my god, I get it. Because that's just my personality, y'all. But even though it seemed like I was like panicking, I wasn't panicking. I just had to go in there still face, like, this is what it is. And I did. And like and so I did the interview. Sorry y'all, I'm jumping ahead. I did the interview, and then we were talking, and she was like, so what's your availability and things like that. And she was just like, Mac, their busiest days are Saturdays and Sundays. If you cannot work the weekends, that's going to be a little iffy. So if you do want to work for Mac, you are going to have to work the weekends. You are going to have to, close and open the store, because that's something that, we got accustomed to while we were working there. But, and then so we did the thing, and I was like, yo, like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. So literally, this is July 8th that I got the call, and because July 1st is when I interviewed. And then July 8th, literally 2 days after my birthday, they were like, hey, we would love to offer you, a Mac at Ulta. And I was like, ooh, this this was a late birthday present for me, cause yo, and I was like, wow, okay. And so she was like, you got to come in and fill out your paperwork and your I-9 work. Sorry, my hair is really bothering me. Um, and so she was like, you got to come out and fill out your paperwork and your I-9 work and make sure that everything that is straight. And so I was like, okay, cool, bet, got it. Um, cool. Went there, did that. In the middle of me working at my other job, because they were very supportive, because they knew that I wanted to be a makeup artist. They knew that this was like a dream come true, because hello, Mac, like, yes, Mac is a really big name in the industry. And I was like, okay, boom, got it. Anyways, fast forward, because it's a few more weeks, and I think it opened on my mom's birthday, which is August 14th. And so before that, in between them weeks, we got to go to, because I was moving, and I was just like, I had to move on August 1st into my new apartment. I was like, yo, I have a lot of stuff to do. And then in the mix of I moved into the wrong apartment. They gave me the wrong apartment. So I had to, August 1st, I moved in. And then August 5th, I literally had to go to Mac Kickstart. So, and then on the 2nd, they literally tell me, they're like, oh, Shay, by the way, we moved you into the wrong apartment. So I had to move, like, literally 24 hours later. So this is the August 1st, the day that I moved in. Then the next day, they were like, oh, you got to move. So this is August 2nd. And then August 3rd is when I finally moved into the right apartment. Yes. And and then August 4th, I got the time to really chill out, like scope out where I was going to do this whole, scope out like how it was for Mac, because I was looking and I was like, yo, how was the training process? How does everything go? So we went to Mac Kickstart. It was in a hotel, and the trainer came and he was amazing. If you're in the Raleigh-Durham area, and if you knew who the trainer was, he was dope, like literally. So I went to Beautiful Start. It was really intimidating because you got to be around other makeup artists who were gonna potentially work for Mac, and there was 3 girls that worked at the counter, and it was like, for me, like, this doesn't even matter, but it was kind of like we had one that was fair shade, one that was medium shade, and then one that was dark shade, which is me. And I was like, okay, that represents Mac pretty well, and that's kind of like how they did it. They were just like, all universal, which is dope. But that's just something that stuck out to me. I was like, yo, so we're all like high, light shade, medium shade, and then dark shade. So it didn't work. It didn't bother me, but that's just something that really stuck out. That was like, yo, they really were inclusive. But anyways, we go to Beautiful Start, and so it's when I get in there, they give us a booklet like Mac Kickstart. They give us it's 3 days. It's literally 3 days of us doing like face, eyes, then lips, and then product knowledge, and then like ingredients. And yes, Mac does not test on animals, only in China, because literally that's what they require for them to sell in China. So little disclosure, if you think that Mac does test on animals, no, we do not in the US. And literally, I said that every single day when I worked at the counter. It was every single day. Literally. Like, really. but anyways, so it was 3 days. The first day, got there, met the trainer. He was dope. Like, it was 8 hours. We literally, like, were in the conference room, and we were like, we just learned. We were on a slideshow. EJ would, our trainer would basically, like, do little testing things on us, matching foundation, making sure that making sure, like, the products fit the customer. You know what I'm saying? What else? It was like product, it was face knowledge, skin, like having to prep your skin. Of course, we learned our number 1 selling product, which is the Max Fix Plus. And that's my staple. I love to use that. I love it. Like, it's set makeup. I set everybody's makeup. Literally set your face by hours. Yes. But so we learned like number 1 seller. We learned how to, the product knowledge with, the MAC shades and how they are. We learned different skin types, different eye shapes. They literally prep you to go out there and represent MAC, because when you're representing MAC, I mean, of course, when you have on that little MAC, that MAC pin and the belt, and then you're literally standing at the counter, like, yeah, you represent them. So of course we want you to know like what's in our products, and it's like the most amazing experience ever. It was 3 days. 8 hours of us sitting, but it wasn't like I was like learning. It was like I was like, yo, I was basking in this moment because I was like, yo, this is crazy. And we even got to like know like the different products coming out, and there was like where EJ was like, what's, or sorry, I keep saying that, and he was like, what's the top selling product at MAC? Um, and it was really cool. And at the end of the 3 days, we got certified as MAC makeup artists. I'm a certified MAC makeup artist. Still to this day, it doesn't expire, which is dope. Um, and then we got to learn how to put on lashes. MAC does not put on lashes like with lips. I put them on my eye with my hands because I do not want anything like that. But still, so that is where I was like, wow, okay, cool. I learned everything. So fast forward to August 14th, or no, August 13th, we all had a store meeting to, get to see the counter and get to see like all the different things, and it was early in the morning. And so I was like, wow, like this is really amazing, where we got to stock the counter and like, know where everything is and how everything is, and like the different lessons that MAC does offer, which is amazing. Then August 14th is when it opened, and it was nerve-wracking because I was like, oh my gosh, like, yay. But it was really cool. Like the first experiences, I will say later on down the line, it's just when you work in a makeup environment, a lot of cattiness goes on. So if you are planning on working at the MAC station, just keep your business to yourself, because people are going to gossip, and make sure that you don't pay attention. You don't have like, how should I say this? Don't gossip. Don't be that person who wants to be everybody's friend. Just relax and chillax. Do your thing. Have your fun. Um, and yeah, that's what I would say. I would just relax and go with the flow and do what you do, because that to me is more than, that to me is like you just chilling. And they say most MAC makeup artists are mean. I don't think that they are mean, because I was literally the most happy. I was like, hey, if you can my camera, hey girl, like, and then they tell us to smile, because MAC girls have a reputation to be mean, but I feel like I represented them to be like, hey, like, hey. But the process was overall, like, I wouldn't change a thing, except for the fact that, like, there's just, in makeup and women, there's a lot of cattiness, and as long as you keep your head on straight, as long as you focus and say that I'm here for my money, of course you can be here for your friend, you're here to make friends, but just be wary of like the gossipers and the people who love to spread rumors, and just go in there like, I'm just here to collect my money and go home, because that's literally the mindset that I had, like, towards the end of me, coming, towards the end of me, working there. And ultimately, but what ended me was, I wouldn't say it was like, honestly, working for MAC was dope in Ulta, but it was more of Ulta, because there was just some issues with with managers. Yeah, yeah, like some managers just did not like me. Um, and some just but I will say that, so these are all the pros to MAC, but these are the cons. Take MAC out of the equation, Ulta is great, and MAC is great, but Ulta, ultimately, I feel like MAC needs to be more hands-on with their people, when they work. I felt like I wasn't working for MAC, I was working for Ulta, which I do, I was just working at the MAC counter. But I feel like ultimately they had this the managers just, it was selectiveness. It was, if they liked you and you got away with certain things, and that's just my problem with Ulta as a whole. Like, they just seem to do favoritism, and if you like were the favorite or whatever, you got to do what you want to do, and that right there didn't sit well with me, because I'm not a person who is ever going to, like, be like, oh, kiss ass or whatever like that. No, I'm not doing that. So that's kind of how it went for me at my store. It's just like, they just seemed like they didn't really like the fact that I was someone who wasn't gonna like kiss ass and take their shit. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then there was just some confusion. They do have, so with Ulta, like, they do have what you call, sorry, my thing. So they do have three roles in the Mac Ulta counter. They have the counter lead, technically. Then they have a person who, which she works 40 hours, is a full-time person and two part-time people. And what we didn't know was that we were like, that there was two part-time people. There was no, there wasn't, we thought we were all full-time, but we weren't. And then what ended up happening is they ended up giving it to a person who was working there longer, who was working, who was favoritism. This is where this favoritism of Ulta comes into. This is not Mac at all. But it was the favoritism of, what was going on. And I felt like they didn't really want me there because they gave me the 15-hour person. And I was like, I signed up for full time. But then when I went to go back to look at my contract, it was part time. And nobody didn't tell me that. But it's best to look at your contract. Whenever you are signing something, look at your contract when you are, read the fine print. Because they had me fooled thinking that, I was this full-time person and they were going to choose a counter lead. And then they end up choosing a person who was working there who was working there, but just transitioning over to being a Mac artist. And then they gave the middle person, it was a little bit, I can't even lie to you. Ulta, I would love to work for, working for Mac by itself. But Mac with Ulta probably will never work there again. Like, ever. Ever. Sorry. Because it's just the ignorance that I've experienced from managers making, like, little side comments. And, of course, they talk about, there's another thing I want to touch on as well. Is sales goal type of thing. It was more based on your sales and your things like that. Like, they didn't really care about what, like, you were as a person. Because I lost my baby around that time, and they literally was like, okay, you gotta come back to work. Like, and that was a moment, and they didn't really care. And so that's when I was like, no, my thing. So, and essentially I did get fired because they just didn't like me, because I was very much so a person who was outspoken. And I'm not gonna cry. Ooh, sorry, y'all. But no, that's just that really stuck with me, because like I was just like, these people do not care. The Ulta does not care. But Mac, the account representative, she did reach out to me, and she was like, I do understand, but ultimately you do work for Ulta, and it's Ulta's decision. Like, I don't know, back then in 2018, 2019, that's how it was ran. I don't know how it is in 2022, 2021. But for me, being a person, it was really hard. And like, I didn't feel like I was being heard, because they didn't really care. They don't care. Like, I feel like Ulta managers, they don't care. They care about sales. And it was just a real personal issue that went on with me. Like, a loss like that. But yeah. Shay, don't cry. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, back to what it was. Ultimately, I ended up getting fired because of that, because if they didn't really like, or they were just like, it was just a moment where I had anxiety and I just couldn't come in. And then they fired me, and they showed no remorse. Didn't really care. My manager at the time, she didn't really care. She didn't give a damn for me. She didn't, like, that's just how I felt with Ulta. And it's like, they let this girl who, I ain't gonna say, they let this girl come in whenever she wanted to, was called out so many times, nothing happened to her. But me, as a black woman, they didn't care. And so that really hurt. But I'm not gonna cry on camera, because baby, I'm a thug and I don't care. But that's just how my experience with Mac was, and I simply said I will never work there again. I will never, like, honestly, I love to shop there. I love the rewards, because I'm a makeup artist. I'm a freelance makeup artist. If you ever are in the Raleigh-Durham area and need a makeup artist, hit up Beauty by Butterfly on Instagram. Yes, I got y'all. But yeah, that's how my experience with Mac was. Towards the end, it was great when I was working directly with Mac. But then when I was working with Ulta, it's just no. Ulta and Mac, I think that they need to be a lot more hands-on with their experiences with these Mac artists, because they don't, like the managers, they do not care. They care about sales goals. They care more about getting sales than if your artist is having a panic attack, or if your artist, just recently suffered a loss. They don't care. And that's just how this goes. I guess that's how employees work. But it's okay. We gonna be alright. But that's just my experience with working with Mac with Ulta. Is I love working for Mac. Would work for them again. Like love to share that experience. But as far as Ulta's concerned, no, I feel like they don't care about their black artists. Honestly, I worked at one who that was kind of like mixed. You would have some. You had a lot of different other customers come in, and they had only like 2 beauty advisors that were working. That was of my skin complexion, and then you have me over here with black people coming into the store. They're like, hey, I want to know my shade, but I'm sorry, I work for Mac, and you want to be tested in Mac, cool, sure, but yeah. Nah, that's just how it went. So yeah, that's my experience with working for Mac Cosmetics. Well, not working for Mac, working for Ulta at Mac, because Mac was amazing. I'm gonna say this video is not to bash Mac or Ulta. It's just to say this is the process. This is how my experience went for Mac and Ulta, or Mac at Ulta. And I would love to work with Mac again. Love their products, use them all the time. If you watch my videos, y'all know that Big Spot Spray is literally life for me. Like it's it. It's a staple. And as well as the Please Me, which I got the wrong shade. Because I go to the one in Belk. I go to the one in Belk. The Mac counter at Belk at my store, at my mall, Crabtree Mall. Like, that's amazing. Love it. Love them people there. But yeah, that's my experience with working with them, and I would love to work with them again. But as far as Ulta goes, no, I would never shop there. Well, I told myself I would never shop there until I actually needed something, but because they do have really good deals. But as far as physically, I'll never shop at that location again. But I do all my stuff online anyway. But yeah, that's my experience with working with Mac at Ulta, and that's it, honey. Sorry, I had to cry for y'all. But if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I'm not bashing them. Like I said before, I'm not bashing them at any means necessary. Not bashing Mac, not bashing Ulta. I'm just simply bringing awareness, and not just sharing my experience, because my experience with working for Ulta was not great. And I think more black artists who work for them, they get the same experience, just to say the least. But I ultimately do I do want to thank everyone for watching, and be sure to give me a big if you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, Beauty by Butterfly, and I will talk to you guys in my next one, and thank you guys for watching.